Cold hard cash, baby.
That's the guy who's had 2 whiskeys talking.
The goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will.
Welcome to Perspective, a podcast for wedding creators where we sit down, often with a special guest, and talk about our many years of experience in the wedding industry. Today we're talking to Franco, a 3-piece pop rock wedding band who actually was my wedding band 8 years ago when I got married. We talked to them about being a wedding band as well as being a non-wedding band, as they have Make Sparks. We talk about their hopes and dreams for both bands, but we also talk about the benefits of being in a wedding band. So this episode is going to be perfect if you are thinking about being in a wedding band, or you're even in a band right now and you haven't even considered that weddings would be a career for you. As always, this episode is sponsored by With Jack, but we'll get onto that a little bit later in the show. In the meantime though, Greg, what are we drinking?
I don't actually know because I've been away for a couple of weeks. What have you got prepared for today?
I didn't even look at the coffee.
I can see some coffee on the table.
Oh, it's the Merit Shatta Geisha.
You used the good stuff on these guys.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello.
Very well, how are you?
There's 3 of them, guys. There's 3 of them here.
Each of you introduce yourself so as we can try and identify your voices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hi, I'm Adam.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Craig.
We sound the same.
That all sounded the same.
So good luck listening to the podcast, working out who's speaking.
Yeah. So
Anna's left and right and centre.
oh God, you'll be all around. So we can get around to coffee now.
Oh really?
You can actually hassle me now.
About time.
Yeah.
Been here for 20 minutes. Ridiculous.
Podcast prep just takes a long time. In fact, obviously there is black coffee. We don't have milk.
Coconut milk today, well, what's them?
Oh, the real hipster over here.
Susie.
Spread that over their body rather.
I feel bad. We've been giving our recent guests quite a lot, so I feel bad just giving you guys black coffee. No, just we sometimes we had Ferrero Rochers or donuts. We've had donuts. Oh, look at that!
Thank you.
We've got donuts. Oh, from Disneyland.
They're not donuts, they're jelly beans. All the way from
The
Disney.
world's smallest donut. That's their slogan.
Maybe I should have some coffee.
Thank you very much.
It's been one of these mornings. Where?
I bought them just for...
Hang on.
No, she didn't.
Hang
Just
on.
That.
Right.
Susie's trying to steal the credit for these.
Taste test as
So-
well for us, thanks.
Just before you guys come in the door, I was telling Susie that I've brought some sweets from Disney. This is them.
Were you in Disneyland?
I was.
I'm going
America.
next week.
You going next
I'm going
week?
next week. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Pretty excited.
It was extremely warm. Like we were there for 2 weeks. The first week was unusually warm. Just as we left on Sunday, it was getting a bit more comfortable. But yeah.
Cool.
Have you been before?
Yeah, but not in about 10 years, so I'm quite excited to see the new rides, this Avatar that everyone's talking
So
about.
jealous.
I didn't go to that section. We had young kids and they did most of the amazing thrill rides, which was brilliant, but we didn't end up going over there because they're not interested in that film or anything. So
Yeah.
Would you like some coffee, Susie?
So what were you guys up to at the weekend?
Yes,
Yous
tell us about your
playing?
time.
We were.
Yeah.
We were wedding.
Wedding.
You were.
Yeah, I had my brother-in-law's wedding, so
We had
Oh.
Clive on
Oh, congratulations to your brother-in-law.
Yeah, that was great, but he chose a Kelly band, which wasn't good.
Ouch.
Ooh,
Ouch.
right in there. Right in there.
For me, I mean, we're not a Kelly band. Kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Would you have liked to play it? Would you have liked to be guest
No,
slash play?
It would have been some discount on my part, so no, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So where was Franco performing though, or was the duo?
Invercarson, Dundee.
Inver-
Oh yeah, Saturday night.
Oh.
I was
Saturday night.
debt basis that night.
Oliver.
Flew in all the way from
Budapest.
Budapest. He came in just specially.
I'm sorry, you flew out a bass player
Yeah.
from
I mean,
Budapest.
when Bobby can't be there,
You,
we scour the
You bring in the
planet.
best. Only the best for our clients.
Oof.
Lives there.
But
Alright, okay.
Bass is easy though.
Oh.
Not hungry.
So he came in, murdered it, and then went home.
Let's come back next week.
Oh yeah,
So-
because again, you're off. You're off. Yeah.
Nah, it was great.
How was
house
the?
guest as well? That was a nice added
Oh, yeah, you
bonus.
said it yours, didn't you?
Was it a good dance floor?
Did it have
Do you know
lights?
what? To be
Took
honest,
ages.
it's too big.
Yeah.
Too big?
Invercars is just massive. So even when the dance floor's full, like it doesn't seem that full, does it? You know, or so if there's only some people dancing at that point, it's like that's one tiny wee corner of a massive dance floor. Atmosphere-wise, it's a bit weird, but the people were dead nice. And then at the end, when everybody's getting up for the last hour, that's fine. But that's because absolutely everybody in the room's up.
Mm.
So it was fine. The buffet was excellent. They had Krispy Kremes. The bacon was well done. Like it wasn't. Is that? No, is I know what you were asking. No, it was my take home from
We
the
all
weekend.
judge the weddings
Yeah,
on different
absolutely.
things. Bacon. That's
No,
the
but
way
I
you
know-
judge a wedding.
Saying when it went fine, the buffet was great.
But it was and they had chips and they had nachos and they had frazzles, fancy frazzles, I think.
Frazzles.
Yeah.
Okay. This doesn't sound like your average wedding nosh.
No, because
Yeah.
you just normally get a soggy bacon roll. Crap
Memorable.
butter and no
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah. Was there a sweet table? I'm a
Well, all
big
those
fan.
They had all those Krispy Kremes.
Oh, true.
Krispy Kremes for days. Bigger than these ones in this bag.
Did we leave people not knowing what these actually are in the bag? They're jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
Just in
Yeah.
case people just heard donuts in a bag. Because I'm a fool.
What were you guys doing? Were you out at the weekend there?
Well, let me
It's
tell you
not bad.
about my week.
Oh.
Because Greg has been on holiday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm...
Yeah, fill me in. What have you been up to when I've been away?
Well...
Work, I hope.
Right, I've been working. So obviously, I had a wedding show yesterday, the Wedding Collective, which went really well. But it did mean I needed to buy like a few extra items and like this was pretty much the setup behind me. There's
I saw the picture. It
a
looked pretty
metal.
cool.
People in the podcast can't see this.
I'm describing in the middle of describing it, Greg. So in the just behind me there is a metal fence like shelf, and I say fence because it literally is an animal cage actually.
Yeah, I was on holiday. Saw this purchase on Amazon. Bunny cage, like rabbit cage. And I was like, Simon, what are you buying?
Yeah.
I've seen that film.
What are you buying?
So we've actually got two. So we already had this one. So I thought I'm gonna order the exact same one. So after the wedding fair, it can sit on the opposite side and be a nice mirror, like effect. But they had totally changed. They weren't doing shelves anymore. They were doing bunny cages. So I looked at them. They looked identical. So I took a gamble, and turns out I was right.
Yeah, it's
The
paid
same
off.
product. They've just rebranded it.
How much
Well,
for a bunny cage?
so it was about £25 to £30
Oh, that is
for
Oh wait.
12 sheets of metal. Now,
How much would a proper shelf have been? From IKEA.
probably a lot less than that. I had to buy 3. So in actual fact, and
No.
I'm actually really annoyed because the third one that I got
Yeah.
didn't have 12 slabs. It had 10. So I got really annoyed.
So that just ruined your holiday, Greg.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
It's
Ruined
fine. I
it.
took out the business.
I'm never taking a holiday again.
Look,
This is the first holiday I've had in 6 years, and he does that.
One time our
jeez.
folks went on a holiday and Bobby, I think you came to the door at my mum and dad's house or something and we're like, oh, look at this. Watch Daredevil the movie or something. And Adam had left
Ooh,
the tap.
that's a low.
Yeah, no, it was a
It
long
was a long
time
time
ago.
ago.
Adam had left the tap running upstairs and flooded the whole. Like we're sitting downstairs watching Daredevil. All of a sudden, it started raining in the living room, and my mum and dad they came home from their holiday. That's really ruined our holiday.
Yeah.
Just tainted it.
So I wasn't that bad, Greg. I wasn't
No.
flooding the
Didn't
office
flood the
bad.
place.
All right,
So
but
I don't think we mentioned.
Daredevil.
and then I've been editing, and we've done another podcast. We just recorded the Halloween special.
Oh.
That was just saying, like, just recounting our horror stories. I'm having a really hard time speaking today.
It's a good time to record a podcast then.
Isn't it just?
Half of that bottle of whiskey's gone.
I really needed this whiskey in my coffee today. Am I the only one with? I am the only one drinking. Oh well. Again,
I've not got the car.
it seems to be a theme.
Oh, I see how you went quiet there. I said, I've not got the car.
Oh, would you like some whiskey? Sorry,
Thank
you
you.
saw the whiskey. You only asked for coffee. Would you like some whiskey?
Well, I've had the coffee now.
He's had his morning coffee. It's time for whiskey.
All right. Well,
We know musicians.
Should it be like a slightly coffee
Yeah,
flavored?
that's fine, that's
Cool. Easy to please.
Did anybody see the Inside Number 9 live last night?
What's that?
That
I have
thing
no
on
idea what that is.
Inside Number 9.
Yeah, what is it?
It's
Like
a- it's
Theresa May's sister.
no, it's not. It's not. Oh man, that's a shame if nobody saw it because it was amazing. They do. It's like it's comedy, like dark comedy, and it's different all the time. And it's like a bit British Black Mirror-ish, but it's not. It's written by these two guys that are always in it. Last night they did a live one, and I don't want to I don't want to spoil it for anyone. So
Okay.
if you've just go and
What was
watch it. You can see it on the iPlayer, which doesn't have quite the same effect because it was a live broadcast, and
So I didn't even know what you're on about. Like, what was live?
it was like just a show. They were doing a show,
Like on a stage, like a theater stage.
in a like in a studio,
Okay.
Like when
on
the Coronation
on
Street
sets. Well, it's filmed on the same lot, and that was quite a big part of it, Bob. Yeah, I think you
There
did
you go.
see it.
Wait,
I
is
think
it?
you did see it.
No, I didn't. I watched Pirates of the Caribbean and the end of Titanic last night.
The end, just the end.
Just it was a very
No
small- Yeah, I love the end of it.
Just when those
Very
musicians
optimistic
go
at the
down.
start.
You're like, oh, that was a Cayley band that went down.
I recently saw that they are remaking the Titanic.
The boat or the film?
No. Sorry, the actual boat.
I don't think it would go down very well. It would go down well, but
Oh, Greg, I don't. The shame on your face for those listening. He did not mean to do that.
I didn't.
No,
on the nose
It's
of
over
a
100 years ago. It's fine.
it's well.
That's
you tell that to Jack. All right, you tell it to Jack.
Well,
But apparently they're
was
obviously.
it not the Olympus that went down anyway?
Oh my
That's a conspiracy.
god!
Yeah, there was two
Podcast just
ships.
taking a turn.
Oh, you have no idea. The Titanic is a big.
It's a hot topic in this office.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
brought down by Halliburton and the rest of the bastards.
well, I believe the Titanic was structurally unsound when it went to sea because the during the building it had a massive fire.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. But Tom, on the other hand, our other camera guy, he's like, nope, it was definitely the iceberg. I'm like, well, if it just hit the iceberg and its structure wasn't damaged beforehand, it wouldn't have happened. So.
2 planes could not bring them down.
Oh man. Let's move on
let's
before it gets any
continue.
worse.
So, who is Franco, and
Uh,
what is Franco?
That's not a real question, is it?
It's on a piece of paper,
Who is
man.
Franco and what is Franco? I've gotten mildly aggressive, haven't I, after one sip?
I know. Take that glass
questions
away
is-
from him.
What does this shite him up for, eh?
should we just do that one again? Was it live?
What is Franco?
A wedding band. No more, no less.
A 3-piece wedding
A
band.
3-piece wedding band, rock and pop.
Cool.
Kaylee on request.
Mhm.
Bobby is not happy about that. And
Harmonising Kings.
harmonising Kings.
Yes. And also my wedding band from many moons ago.
Genuinely forgot that.
Yeah, I know. I just remembered it here as well. It's fine. It's fine.
I remember your
Was
wife's
your buffet
party
good?
better. Oh, what was your buffet? Was it bacon rolls? Sorry.
It was indeed bacon rolls. You clearly.
You might have done it. You might have
For
done
our
it at the
second
start,
set, I mean.
because how many years ago was that then?
It was 8.
8 years ago. So
years
you
ago.
might have
Maybe
been
9. Wait.
on that
No, it's
bacon roll revolution, because for a while it wasn't. It was finger foods.
You were in there
no.
early.
And then it turned to
No.
bacon rolls, and so you might. Well, it's like
Trendsetter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like your rabbit cages. You're onto something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Probably just buy a
Where
real
was your
shell.
wedding? Remind us.
Dundas Castle.
Right. Well, I'm nearly there. I've almost
You're-
got it in my mind now.
Is that Edinburgh way?
Yeah, that's the. But in the big marquee.
Yeah.
What was your first dance?
I'm pretty sure it was Wild Horses.
We didn't.
We
but
didn't,
you didn't play it.
Oh,
It
right.
was-
You didn't trust us.
We
with
still
it.
do not know Wild Horses.
Well, we didn't want people
Can you
because
cancel or
obviously
something?
Wild Horses is famously known as a song by the Rolling Stones, but we didn't actually have that one. We had the Sundays version, so we didn't want people to think,
Well, we
that's the Rolling Stones song. But
already
actually,
we're
no,
off
we
to a
hate that
flyer at your wedding.
You would have
If
probably.
we don't have to learn the first dance, it's like,
one. Yeah,
I like the sound of these guys.
Yeah, that's
I was
but
going
we
to say
met-
that.
but we met-
Do you like when couples say, "Oh, we're just going to have an MP3. We don't want you guys to play it"?
Yes.
then you're welcome.
Lazy.
because
Depends what
but
it
it's an
is.
absolute.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a throwaway. Like it's something that you have to offer. But like, how many times have we? I mean, we did Sign Seal Delivered the other day,
That was good.
and we still haven't kept it in the set. And that's one that we should keep in the set.
That was
but
very
the
good.
rest of them are just like you learn them once and that's it, one and done. It's
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
You learn, look,
waste of
recently,
stress
this summer's been
for
a lot,
us, not for them.
a lot of American country rubbish, like
Oh.
genuine crap, and it's like no, but there was like
We're not going to be able to promote this on our page. I'm
you know,
I knew that before we came in.
This is just for us.
That's fine.
but there was is it not Carl? No, that's Carl Urban. We had something. We've done
Oh,
it a couple
right.
of times.
Keith Urban. Is it Keith?
Is that not
Maybe.
the actor?
Keith
I think
Carroll.
it's the
Oh, same thing.
one of them's Judge
Yeah.
Dredd and one of them's a country singer.
Oh,
Yeah, so we're getting that wrong. Anyway, so we're having to do this Judge Dredd tune. It's terrible. But it's like you're never gonna. We're not only are you not gonna hear it again, we're never gonna play it again. So it's just like, oh, this was a waste of time. No, it wasn't.
You're making memories, important
exactly,
ones
yeah,
for
we
some
love
people.
it.
So don't be mean, guys.
I know.
I'd just be funny.
But
Gets aggressive after a drink. I meant to email ahead.
Hide all open bottles of
Yeah.
alcohol.
so I remember when I found you guys, and I can't even remember how I discovered this, but you have another band, Make Sparks,
Yes.
which I was a fan of before having you guys at my wedding. So when I found out, I was very excited. But then after my wedding, I remember specifically you guys telling me not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
So now you're saying
Oh,
it on
the
a
glory
podcast.
days. The glory
So,
days.
so now it's my turn to tell the world.
Honestly, we were just speaking to our agent the other day about how easy it used to be. Back then, we used to take a diary full of weddings while trying to hide the fact that we were in a wedding band.
Well, let me tell
And
you
that's what he
something.
talks about. It was like shooting fish in a barrel back then. And now there's more wedding bands in my postcode than there used to be in the country
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
Every
So-
musician that we used to know that was in an original band keep coming up and saying, oh, I'm going to start a wedding band now. It's like, great. Good for you, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
good for them. I really am going to start drinking.
Maybe I'll scroll out some of the questions here because this,
No, go for it. Keep going.
this podcast is obviously to help people coming into the industry.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys.
Listen,
More competition
listen,
for
it's
you.
more like a before and after. This is way after.
Yeah, if you want to be tired and bitter, just be a wedding band. You'll be absolutely fine.
But to
I'm like
be
the
fair,
coffee you
it's
gave me
Monday
earlier.
morning.
Yeah.
Who's not tired and bitter on Monday morning?
What I really want to know is, were you scared that people would look down on you?
The original band.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just paranoid. We were dead insecure at the time, I think. Like, we were trying to, like...
Still are.
You're trying to be, I don't know, do something with your original band, and a wedding band, the image of a wedding band at the time was still like the cabaret, male, female, doing the ABBA songs, all that
Mm.
cruise shippy type thing.
Oh yeah.
Doing when we started doing the cover band, and we were doing a gig in Dundee, and one of the bands that were supporting us or something, they went, "Oh, why are you doing a wedding band now?" It's like, "Oh, what?" He said something ridiculous, like, "What, you want to make money or something, or selling out?" Or something
Yeah,
like
why-
that. And
why-
that was
Oh,
the
that's
opinion.
That's
It was
really
like-
weird.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like weird.
that
Yeah.
was kind
Yeah.
of that was kind of a weird jealous comment.
It was
but
a dig. It was a total
yeah,
dig,
but
but
it
that's
was-
how people viewed it.
It was like,
Nasty.
I
and
felt
I-
it was a choice. You had to do one or the other. I thought.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
felt to me, it's like, but we didn't, and wasn't many. We were young at the time. Wasn't many young bands doing it at the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, there really weren't.
Mm.
And we looked a bit like Kings of Leon. We had like a
Oh,
perfect storm
'Cause
of
you had
when
long
we
hair.
started.
Yeah.
The first few, yeah, we had hair. But we did the first promo video we ever did was like Michael Jackson, Black or White, Back for Good by Take That, Kings of Leon. What's that called again?
Sex on Fire?
No, it was Use Somebody,
Oh right. Yeah.
and Johnny Be Good. And then like was it that year Michael Jackson died? Take That made a comeback, and Kings of Leon were
We did Michael Jackson because he died.
right. Yeah,
right,
okay.
right.
So, but it was all the timing of it all
Yeah.
was amazing,
Yeah.
and you basically just search for that every other time, just try and get something. Like recently, we did Africa by Toto.
I
Classic.
love
That's
that.
been like.
He's had that video on loop in this office.
That's my
But it's
fa-
been
I
another
think
big
it's
bump
my
for
favorite
us because
version
like
of
you
that
just
song.
hit
Oh,
one.
nice.
Do you know what? Of all the things we've ever recorded, like original and covers, I enjoy listening to that because it's probably the best song we've ever recorded. But I like our version
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
But that's been another, like, I think the same kind of bump from the first time that we did all those videos and hit something. Like Africa just seems to be one of those songs, like whoever did Don't Stop Believing
Yeah.
8 years ago, everybody would have been like, wow.
Actually, that was a first dance, Africa. That's why we learnt that. Somebody said we do that as a first dance, so we learnt it. And
The
we
Big
felt like,
Papa's the other wedding band.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a dig. I think they let pick the hardest song to go for. But we turned it around. We did a video for it.
Yes.
Bobby
yes.
really turned it round. He's not even showing
No,
up.
I'm not even going.
He's gone to Florida. Clive's flying in.
So let's talk about Make Sparks then. Well, I'm assuming you didn't always want to be a wedding band that you fell
No,
into.
but
So
ironically, that was our original name.
what wedding band?
Our wedding band.
Oh, really?
We thought it would be first in the Yellow Pages.
Oh my god.
Then the internet came out.
So
That's how long we've been doing
how old are you guys? So I mean, so what were your original dreams for having a band? Just
Oh, this seems dead
I
sad.
know,
now.
right,
More
yeah.
whiskey. What did you really want out of life?
well,
just hoping
dreams
to do,
adapt and change,
just to
and
be chasing
you
some
know
weddings.
what?
Just to be chasing weddings and worrying about January. We wanted to make music, tour the world, do all that stuff.
hmm
It didn't happen, okay?
Okay.
No, it was cool.
hmm
I mean, like we got to do a lot of stuff that way. Like we always wanted to do festivals and stuff. And
Yeah.
then the time when Make Sparks had its biggest sort of upswing, we did all the festivals in Scotland. So that was
Yeah, it was good fun.
fun. That was the stuff that we ticked off there.
A couple of times as well, we did festivals. Like we did Belladrum in the morning, and then we did a wedding at House for an Art Lover at night.
Wow.
We had to drive back. Like,
Yeah.
and so it was like things were punctuated with like you would get to do the thing you wanted to do, but you couldn't sort of party
Enjoy it,
afterwards.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
We had a couple of cool days in 2010 when we played a wedding on top of Cairngorm Mountain the night before, and then we played Tina Park the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's
that
cool.
was
That was cool. So we had to get the big, what's it
the
called?
lift.
Neck killer.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And put all our stuff on this big train thing. We forgot an iPod cable, remember that? So they had to
I had
get
to go back
they had to go back down to the bottom
Down
of
the
it,
Oh, no.
which means two drivers like at each thing, and just me and look at all the beautiful.
But then when you got to the top, those poor bastards, it was
Oh,
foggy.
yeah.
It was foggy. They couldn't
Oh
see a
man.
thing.
Oh, that's
So
got to be
and
heartbreaking.
otherwise, it's just a canteen. It really is. It's not the whole point is have a venue with like
A view.
360
Yeah.
degree views, and it was just a canteen with foggy windows.
And a great band.
A fantastic band.
There you
I
go,
remember
there
their
you
first
go.
dance though. Do you remember it?
You shook me all night long.
I did. And it
Tell them
was,
the dance.
and they did ate some reel to that, didn't they?
Right, yeah.
So how did you? Because you obviously you mentioned you're doing both at the same time. You're Make Sparks and Franco. How did you start doing weddings? Because I'm assuming you had Make Sparks first, and then you started going into weddings. So how did that come
Craig
about?
got married,
Uh-huh.
and
Congratulations.
and when his wedding band took a break, we played.
Yeah.
We got us to play.
Do you know
Kinda
what?
Smashed?
Do you know what the thing was like back then? We really weren't the kind of guys that would jump up on stage, and it's not like we could do it now easily. I think if we were to give us instruments, we get up and we could play a song together. Before it was like when we were just learning to be in an original band, you'd had to sound check in the afternoon. You had to have all your gear just like so. You had to have, I can't hear this, I can't hear that. Everything was a bit more. You didn't realize you could just pick up and strum. So we were not like. We were never just going to jump up on stage and hey, but my wife's family are all from down south. Our family are from the west coast of Scotland, but we grew up on the east. So no one had seen us play. They all knew we were in band. I was like, look, they're going to ask us to play. So see when they do, let's not spend all night fighting it. Let's just do 10 minutes, bish bash bosh, get on off. And so we did. We played like one of our own songs and 2 covers, and then the wedding band said afterwards, "Oh, we're about to start a wedding band agency. Do you guys want to be on it?"
All right.
And we're like, "Oh,
Oh,
that's cool,
okay.
because we just play pubs right now. That'd be fun."
Yeah,
And then,
doing it for next to nothing at pubs and doing the same nights for
yeah.
way more money. So it seemed like
Yeah.
a no-brainer at the time, and it was a lot more money than we were used to, which was good.
Yeah.
We should
Handy
probably,
timing.
should probably promote the agency that's Music for Scotland.
Yeah.
That was they were in a band Seattle at the time. The guys that run it. And
Check out their band.
and that's a Craig
Garbage.
Book.
But it's all right. They know it.
Why should obviously you mentioned the stigma from like when bands
It's gone, though.
versus
Sure,
well
it's gone.
yeah I think it's gone. I think a lot of
Yeah.
wedding
Yeah.
stigma has gone
I'm sure
away
it has.
for
Yeah.
even for video and
everything.
photographers. I think it's become cool to do weddings to a
I
to a
bet you
certain degree.
actually it's a lot to do with the internet providing a platform for anyone to work for themselves.
Yeah, maybe.
And to be able to get all kinds of content out everywhere, so people who are creative
Mm.
put something up and do it and find a way in. And really, I don't know if, I imagine most people that are our age anyway, like mid-30s that are doing in wedding bands, didn't set out to be in a wedding band. But I could imagine very well that people that are 17 now might be intending to go that way, because
Well, that's how our agency. That's the way they've gone now. They go to Stevenson College in Edinburgh, and they actually offer this to young musicians. They say, "Listen, if you guys want to put a band together, we've got a platform for you to get
Well,
started."
even more than that, they say we'll put the band together. We just need
Yeah.
they audition all the different musicians and say like, you can, instead of having to work at Topshop at the weekend for minimum wage, you can just work on a Saturday night and make a few £100 and see yourself through college doing what you want to do, learn
Yeah.
how to.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a really good apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
great way for musicians to learn their craft as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
having to learn so many different types of music and stuff.
Mm.
You not find that the creative types seem to do more than one job anyway? Like, you
Yeah,
usually look
yeah.
like
I think you're right.
musician,
Yeah.
sound engineer.
Nope.
Like,
But yeah, in the same way though, we didn't set out thinking, "Oh, we're gonna go and film weddings."
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
But
true. We were
now
filming you
having
guys.
done it, I would have, if I knew earlier when I was at uni, I would have started filming weddings then, because instead of working in a supermarket,
Exactly.
it makes way more sense
Yeah.
just to
learn your craft.
learn your craft as you're doing it, sort of thing.
Mm.
And then I guess now it'd be the same for us. I'm sure it would be for you. If you got an opportunity to do something else, film something else, or play somewhere else at a different kind of event, you walk into it. That's fine, because
Yeah.
it's what you do. But then your bread and butter, it's good if it can be weddings. But mainly because, I think like it's no secret. Like, you make more money at weddings,
Mhm.
and it's better to get the most amount you can for your work. Like, why not? Especially if you're good.
So I mean, yeah, you've mentioned pretty much all the main points I can think of as to why someone
wrap it up
would
then,
want
come
to
To the pub.
why someone would want to be in a wedding band.
Yeah.
Like, are there any others? Obviously, the money and you get to learn.
That
the
makes it sound bad
craft.
just saying the money. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
No,
are
no.
doing the job that we want to do. That we've like the three of us have played. Me and Bobby have played together since we were 16 or 17,
Yeah.
and we're 35 now.
Mhm.
And Adam has been playing with us since he was 14 or 15,
14.
and you're 31,
Yeah.
31
Mhm.
now. And so like we've been doing it for ages. If we like, it's not like
And this is the earliest we ever had to get up on a Monday.
I am sorry for that.
no, I'm just saying, it's been good. But it's over now.
but doing what you want to do, that is a big important part, because we wouldn't still be doing it if we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even though we might joke and be cynical about it,
Mm.
but it is the end of the wedding season, so that's when you're going to get a little cynical and maybe a little fatigued. But
Talk about a long, long summer. No, I'm kidding. It's been good. It has been really good.
Yeah, you're
And then,
really
the money.
you're really good at putting stuff on your Facebook and stuff. Like
have
I
you
always
not
feel-
noticed that
or-
we've just taken maybe not? We've just taken basically a month off.
yes,
But the actual
It's been-
doing the social media thing, like, because before, like we were saying, like we were joking about earlier, it's like we would do like one video in January, and that was 100 weddings for the year, and then you just sit back Monday to Thursday in your pants, and then, but then now it's like,
Hustle. We've
Well,
got to do
yeah.
we've got to do Facebook updates.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we never did any of that stuff before, and like been quite
That
busy
is the
making
big
the
change, yeah.
making the
Yeah.
videos, and then even getting our own studio to be able to record more regularly. Getting up at bastard o'clock to do podcasts. I mean, things have changed.
Well, I mean, so you mentioned money. I think I would hope. Like, I remember watching YouTube videos when YouTubers were kind of a new thing, and I remember that comment. You're a sellout. You're doing ads now. I'm like, I feel like we've advanced to a stage where I think everyone accepts that there needs to be financial gained
Yeah.
to be able to bloody well live
Well,
and
actually, yeah,
continue
'cause
being
I
creative.
was just thinking that,
like
everything.
where did that come from?
Not just to be creative, but just to get by. You
Yeah.
know, like, because jobs aren't the same as they used to be in across all industries, and security's not what it was for our parents' generation. So this is just I reckon, a natural progression. And
Thing is, well, though, you're talking about, like, if we're talking about the music industry and that, this is a different spectrum altogether. But Metallica were like deemed sellouts when they made a first music video,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but they were also touring like arenas at the time, so they were making money, and then they did a video to get bigger and stuff, and that was sellouts. So it's like from how it's been whittled down to now, where like every musician is now sponsored by Beats by Dre or whatever. It's like there's
Monster Energy drink.
yeah, everybody's got it in their music videos and that. It's like the whole industry's had to change drastically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's made for struggling musicians in the indie scene. It's gonna there had to be a progression for us or something.
yeah.
Because
And yeah, I'm
I've-
glad.
I've-
I'm glad
I've-
we've all matured. I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
because
I tailed off there. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm just glad you think we've matured. That's
It's those wrinkles. That's
oh no, I can't see them with my glasses off.
but yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm glad that we've all matured. And if you're still in that mindset, you're a schmuck.
Yeah,
I just
I
wanted to say
don't
that
think-
word.
I don't-
Sorry, I didn't want to say that word.
I don't think there are people that think that way. I think people kind of appreciate hustle as well, don't
Yeah,
they?
there's been a lot of talk about how the starving artist shouldn't be a thing anymore. Like,
Oh really?
yeah, like people
Yeah.
You
are
said
kind
that
of
as if, no, they should be. All artists should be starving.
I've not heard that. That's quite good though. That's like I quite like.
There's a few
that.
folk, I
did
can't
like
remember
the-
who, but a few folk on YouTube or whatever that I watch, and they talk about like starving artists shouldn't be a thing. Why
Yeah.
should they
Yeah, no.
like
Yeah,
be artists and creative and not make money? They should.
and tortured as well.
Yeah.
God forbid creative people actually be happy. What?
Do you think that, like, in all seriousness, do you think that I don't think a wedding band fits into the creative industry, really? I don't think
Well,
I don't
it's
think
literally
that,
covering something.
yeah, I don't really feel like we don't flex a creative muscle much at all when we're being in a wedding
But
band.
doing that allows you to be an artist with Make Sparks, I think.
But then also that is really more like a hobby that we punctuate the like.
Yeah, because when was the last
just to
song you
break it
released?
up. But it's
right,
so long ago. You're right.
it
but
was,
we've
it
got
was a while.
tons of stuff recorded that
Yeah.
Yeah.
we just sit on, and
I
we're
know.
still
You
recording.
tell me
it.
about it, and I'm like, oh cool, I'll get to hear that one day. Never heard about
No,
it.
you'll never-
You bastard.
we
just for
record it,
us.
so we need never release it. There was something you said earlier that I was thinking about on social media. You know how you were about to say, "Oh, you guys post on
Yeah.
Facebook or
Yeah,
whatever."
you're really good at showing me that. Like, I often like you come up on my feed. I'm like, oh, they're at this wedding. I can see that they're having a good time. And you're like showing the crowd. I'm like,
See,
oh,
that's
maybe they shouldn't have showed that picture. That shows the one on the dance floor.
But I don't.
I'm kidding.
We
about
we
that.
have just taken about a month off, maybe even longer, from posting anything on social media because I follow too many wedding bands that everybody puts up the same thing, and I really hate that we all have to just be like, one, look how many weddings we do, and two, look how great all our nights are. Although that is what you should be putting out to sell. I really find it quite difficult to just be another one doing that. And see, when you do it, you're like, oh, I did something. I don't really know if it has much of a knock-on effect either. I think you're better to put out content.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped about maybe a month ago, 6 weeks, I'm not sure, a while ago. It's been a total weight off. But I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm going to replace it with.
Well, what we
because
did,
you have to keep
what we
up your
did
social media.
a few times, which I thought was always quite a good one, was just if we rehearsed a song we would then do a little harmony video, just show us like what we'd learnt that day and do a wee bit of harmony stuff. And I think that's quite good. 'Cause you get to see a little bit of progress, a little bit of what you're
That's
working on.
something
and
that someone might want to watch. I always
Yeah,
feel
and then-
like the other things aren't.
it's also showcasing a song you've got in the repertoire
Yeah.
now. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a tiny wee slice of entertainment.
Yeah.
Whereas when we put up pictures, it's just the same picture all the time because we don't have free hands because there's only 3 of us. So you can't. It's not like somebody can just film the crowd while something good's happening. It's like if I don't have to play during the bridge, quick grab the phone out, take a picture, put it back, and so that our pictures are largely rubbish anyway, and you just put them up because 1, you feel like you have to tick that box of show people that you're busy, and 2, show them that you're having a good time. It's like,
Yeah, it's constantly
Effectively-
appearing in people's feeds, sort of thing.
yeah. And I just don't. I would rather put out, like Adam's saying, little videos of us doing stuff, but then we've not had a minute this month because the past few months have just been 4 or 5 days a week, nuts. But
we were making a video there with our agency, Music for Scotland. We did a new video, and that just came out as well. That one looks really good as well, though. They did a good job there.
that'll
So
be like
What
a
was
sponsored
the-
post today.
What was the track?
Pretty fly for a white guy.
Oh, nice.
so we're still keeping the
Offspring song.
still keeping the punky rock stuff going.
Yeah, cool.
Not totally pop rock,
Uh-huh,
some punk as well.
So you don't feel you're being creative, whatsoever?
But I was just thinking, I'm not sure that. Do you think wedding
Well, I
bands
thought
are a creative part of the
see,
creative industry? It more seems just like.
You got a right kick out of doing the Africa video. You wanted to do the one shot track
Yeah,
thing, and
sorry,
then we
there's-
planned that room out and stuff. And that it's not the same.
No,
as
there's little bits
writing
of
your own
it
song,
where
but
you
that
get
was-
to flex a creative muscle or whatever,
Yeah.
but the rest of I don't feel like.
I don't feel like it's creative
No.
when we're recording stuff, but I do. I suppose I'm learning how to record. That's
Yeah.
That's so when I suppose that is quite creative, but it doesn't feel the same re-recording something as opposed to creating your own thing because you don't know what's going to come out at the end of your own thing. But re-recording something's a bit different.
And like maybe even like the most creative we get on a night is swapping the setup. You know, like it's not. I imagine when you guys do it, you can think about how you'll frame a shot, how you might change this, how you might utilize different lighting, and then all the editing,
Yeah.
all of it. Whereas,
Yeah,
like for us, it'd be like, okay, we could try that with a slightly different guitar sound, or change that harmony. Or it's not. It's
So
not
minor-
super creative.
minor
yeah,
tweaks.
It's not.
Okay.
When creative would be actually creating something like that we do get a kick out of doing as well. I'm just not sure when bands fall exactly into that
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
side of the industry.
You're changing something or reproducing it and changing it
Yeah.
slightly
And
rather
also,
than creating something brand new.
have you ever noticed? Maybe you don't because but when suppliers have a bit of a community and they tend to know each other, and people, whereas bands know each other, but there's see that 2 hours in the afternoon where dinner's had and suppliers leave and the band comes in. It's almost like an industry divide, not in personalities or anything. I just mean like our paths never cross. People
Yeah.
don't tend to get to
Yeah.
know each other at all. We know bands through.
Some bands though, because the amount of times I get asked for recommendations of bands, it's like I can really only tell you about 3 because it's not like we go out and see bands or wedding bands or
Right, yeah.
anything. You maybe see a bit of content here or there, but it's not like it's not like we're mingling with loads and loads of wedding bands in that regard. But
Yeah.
I do think there's not like, so when I think there would have been a band at the wedding fair that you guys were doing this weekend, and
Yep.
but there's not loads of that. There's more wedding band showcases, and they don't
Yeah.
have other wedding suppliers at them. That's just this like a separate thing. And then on like creative agencies have lots of things and have maybe a band or 2, but it's almost like a token thing to make sure that you've got something for every category.
Yeah,
But
okay.
if you look at it, videographers and photographers and dressmakers and stationers and all that, the list will be huge
Yeah.
because everybody knows each other. There's more of a. It's like daytime and nighttime. The suppliers are.
Well, we're always taking a break when you guys are just arriving and setting up. And then we're like, oh, come on, get the first dance on.
there's
I know,
Then it's time to leave.
We're always busting a gut to get ready as quickly as we
Yeah.
can. for
there's
you.
the honesty.
And I presume-
There's the honesty. Everybody wants to go home, eh?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
And they maybe don't want to come over and chat to you because then it would slow you down. Like, oh, we're trying to set up. And you're like, oh, how you doing? What you been up to?
Yeah.
Just try to set my drums up here. Give me a minute.
Oh, I'm always coming up with my big light, going, "Excuse me, can
I
I
put
get
it
a
here?"
power source, a
Sorry,
power
I put this here.
plug right there?" No, that's the amp there. It's like,
Do you guys ever have run-ins with bands that have been like, no, you can't put that there? Because some people seem really coy when they're
They seem
asking
to
to put
pussyfoot
their...
around you a little bit.
It's like,
Yeah.
do you mind if I put a light on stage? Like, yeah, go for it, man. But some
No,
people-
I have had. So I preemptively decided where my light was going to go for a creative reason. I needed to shine this way. I had an idea in my head. So I put the light up before dinner and I plugged it into a power socket. And I was like, right, that's it done. Don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
When the band came in, they unplugged it and
Moved
took
it.
that spot. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
both are totally
yeah,
passive aggressive. you like, I will set myself up here and go fuck yourself. It's like, that is what you should be doing. Is have you got a 4-bar and we can all enjoy the power.
That is true. That is true. That is true. And now I'll consider that for next time.
Yeah.
So
I
there is a
decided to
weird,
be
but I
nice.
think there's a power struggle for the stage. I think because
Yeah.
if you think about it, when we come in, I just think the stage is ours, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's the venues, and then there's kids on it. You're like, they've
Oh,
been there all day,
yeah.
and they're like family of
Yeah.
the people who are paying for the place.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, get
They-
off my effing stage, right? That's polite to the kids, and. Yeah, it's weird. You're quite good with it now that you've got a kid yourself. You're quite good at scaring them off. I don't know the rules.
The amount of times that kids have asked to use my drums,
Oh yeah.
and the parents like, oh, can they have a shot on your drums and that? And you really don't want children
Why
on
don't
the
you?
stage.
Oh, you one of those? Come on.
Well, it's more like
Come on,
'cause-
Green Day do it. They get people up from the
Oh,
crowd
I
and
bet
be
they
like,
can
"Come
afford
on."
tons of instruments. Like, nah. I bet it's not as good guitar. Right, anyway, but the
It's just a drum. You're meant to hit them.
oh yeah, you're the worst. You're the parent I can't stand. You're the guy.
That's because
Because
like
you know
I've
what?
got
No,
drums.
no,
and I'd be
no.
like,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with letting my kid hit a drum.
We're
That's
all
true.
okay with letting kids hit the drums.
Yeah.
Except for the drum.
I'm like, oh, do you want to shut the guitar? As soon as you're letting them up, like, well, what about the guitar? Hold that one. But but you let one
not
kid.
You know,
It's
it's not the
you let
same
one
because
kid
supposed
they
to be the
can't.
same
They can't
thing.
do anything that sounds good. You know,
No.
do. It's easy
This,
for a kid.
this attitude. This is what I'm sick of in the modern day.
And I've never seen a kid hit the drum harder than he does.
Not even got the support of my band. Anyway, I've got a good
I'm
one. I
deaf in
say
one
to them,
ear.
you got to be at least this high, and I'm pointing higher than the child, and say to ride the drums. I'm afraid, and I have to word that carefully, or else it sounds very rude.
Yeah.
If there's a bunch of kids at the wedding, next minute you got a queue, and they're all on the stage and that, and then it's just because there's all your power supplies and stuff are there. It's
That's right. It's
becomes
dangerous.
annoying,
all of
but
That's
that
right.
is-
Adam is just really,
petty. I'm very
really
petty.
concerned
Tom
about the
Petty.
safety of your children.
I am thinking about the safety of your children.
Yeah.
You book us, safety comes first.
I'm being
Look at
insured
that.
up to £1 million.
Oh, do you guys have insurance?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
didn't knew it just there.
If somebody
really?
trips over the power
Oh.
It's
cable,
basically for like one venue that ever asks for it.
That's
Yeah.
true. But
So
you know, for
frustrating.
that one kid,
Yeah.
that Adam doesn't
Well,
actually
doesn't
get.
get on the
I know.
stage.
No, the thing is, it's not. It's not
if they
even
go
the
away
kids
and
that are
get their
the problem.
bacon roll, somebody trips over a power cable.
Well, right, before you
anyway.
get into the read,
I'm not doing the
pour
read.
me another whiskey.
So obviously, I mentioned we had Ginny and the Tonic in. I don't know if you know them. Do you know Ginny?
No, don't.
They are a duo band, so they don't do evening stuff.
No, do they do singing with it as well? Like, is it?
Yeah, so
It's
one
piano
one
and
plays the
vocals.
piano and yeah, piano and vocals. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of a different take on the creativity because they try to go out of their way to make their covers sound different, like
Yeah.
their own spin.
I suppose
So
they have to in a way though. If it's just piano and
Yeah.
vocals,
Yeah.
they have to take a pop song and dilute it down to that.
that's very
so I
true.
suppose they have to.
But I mean, yeah, but just because you have to do it, I mean, anyone could do it. It's whether or
But then
not
it
you're
depends.
willing
I think
to.
live it does end up being different when we're doing it, just because it just is. But recorded is different. You kind of want our agent say anyway. Like when he used to record us, and he was very much like, "No, that's not what the track does, so we don't do that." Like, and it was over and over again, and it was quite funny
He'd
for
just
us.
joke. He'd be like, "We're not making a record here, boys. just do what it says." But then, like you're saying, so if they make it sound different and they get a creative take on it, but because they're trying to make it fit the instrumentation that they have, and then, but I bet you because they've got another band, don't they? Is it Apache?
They do.
Darling?
They have
Yeah.
Apache
So
Darling.
Did you
Yeah.
listen to the episode?
I did listen to the episode.
Did
yeah.
you?
But so I bet you they whatever they sound like playing together
Mm.
is the sound that they make together. So when they're, I bet you could recognize them from both band.
I'm gonna probably ask you this, Craig, because you are in a duo as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
What's the difference between being in a duo as compared to entertaining in the evening?
We're background, and we're meant to be background during the day. Whereas at night time, sometimes you're background, and sometimes you have to figure out what the crowd wants you to be. Like, sometimes you do need to be background in the evening. But basically, you need to figure it out in the evening and try and get people to dance as often as possible.
Okay.
Read the crowd that way. Whereas during the day, just sit and strum. During the day, it's dead relaxed. I guess the tension at both points is first dance, when you're playing that in the evening, like you get a bit like, here we go. I hope we learnt it well in the van on the way here separately.
That's not true.
That's not true. We asked for up to 6 weeks to learn it, yeah. But and then in the afternoon,
Africa recorded before we've done it.
Yeah, exactly. And then
We don't provide that for everybody.
Down the aisle, like those few seconds just before down the aisle, you get a bit like, am I going to be able to play this open D chord? I could do it before, but why am I sweating there? It's just like sweaty fingers. That happens. But yeah, so it's a different thing, but it's the same. You just sit playing music, and once you start, it's quite relaxed.
How did the duo come about? Was that
So it's you and Kat Robertson.
We had to start providing Kaylee when things got a little bit more competitive, and all the other bands in our agency had fiddle players in them, and then so they suggested to us, like, you should add live Kaylee. Instead, we used to put it on an iPod and call the dances, and then we did one dance ourselves, a Dash and White Sergeant, that we just adapted into like a rock and roll bluesy thing.
Cool.
It's good fun.
That goes down really well, actually.
We still do that over
Sexy Kaylee, we call it.
Sexy Kaylee.
Sexy Kaylee.
Yeah,
The only band to provide Sexy Kaylee.
the only Sexy Kaylee ever. There have been no Sexy Kaylee. And so we had to bring in a fiddle player, and Kat lives in Glasgow, also grew up in the same town in Carnoustie that we all come from, and so got in touch with her. Didn't know her at the time, but she was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Knew her, he was her boyfriend at the time, Ewan was. They're married now. And she came and did that, and then just got suggested afterwards, and then we were doing it as a Franco duo, it was called, like, so that, and we still offer that as a service, but we were just like, like I was saying earlier about the bands and the daytime suppliers, daytime suppliers and evening suppliers, being separate. The Sedona Park, our duo, is much more a daytime thing. Like, through Kat, I know loads more suppliers now, and through, like, when we've done wedding fairs, it's like, oh, that's a different thing. But I've never met a band that plays in the evening while I've been doing Sedona Park, you know. So we just gave it another name to have a bit more control over it.
Yeah.
And
do you find that people that book Sedona Park, do they end up booking Franco as well?
Usually the other way around.
Right.
Because I offer it to all our clients.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
then,
how do you feel about that, guys?
Not good.
As long as he's good. As long as
long as he's
get a
good.
sweaty palm over a D.
You turn up to play at night, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's been rubbish all day."
We're quite jealous and bitter about it. Actually, we've been we've spoken about it. We're going to
taking
start
to
our
day
own.
drinking.
Our own duo, yeah.
It's taking a day drinking. We're going to start our own duo.
A drum and bass.
Just drum
duo.
and bass. It's like a death from above after
set.
dinner. Just purely aggressive metal covers.
Nice.
It's not taken off. But we only advertise it in the Yellow Pages, so it's a nightmare. Wedding band is the number one. Sorry, I've gone off the wall.
So going back to the people who want to go into a wedding band, like, why would they choose an evening wedding band over, say, a duo?
It's definitely more fun to be with more people and play at a party. That's the more fun side of it, for sure. The other bit's very civilized.
Okay.
Like, it's
cool.
You think of a wedding during the day.
Everyone's smashed at night time, so that can go both ways. But
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think
daytime.
you just play the right songs and at the right time, and they're going to love it. You know, whereas during the day, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
civilized.
Civilized. It's quiet, which is nice. It's I do really enjoy it, and I'm not just saying the days are long though. I would say that's the difference. See, that'd be a good reason to get into the evening, because 8 till 12, show up at 7, especially if you don't have to travel very far. That is a real As a short work day for anyone, isn't it? Like you're not working for long, and
Yeah.
that's good. Whereas when you add in the duo, usually your day starts at 11 in the morning, and then you finish. Then it seems like you. So when I say 8 till 12, there's travel on the end of that, but
Yeah.
you don't count it when you're talking about how short your day is. That's just 8 till 12. But then when it's the duo and it's a longer day, it's 11 till 2. You know, it's like it does make it a longer day.
Yeah.
How do you, like, there's 3 of you obviously, so how do you divvy up that, like, the emails and the, is it just
No.
the agency that does all the emails
No,
and
Craig
stuff?
does it.
No, I do that.
You do it all.
Oh.
That's a nice divide then. Yeah.
You've got to have a nice smile to do that sort of stuff, and he does. A Pan Am smile.
Yeah, so we just, but then the rest of it's like we just get together on a Monday, go to the studio, rehearse, maybe make a wee acoustic-y type of video, something to put up for the week, something that you've got, and the rest of it's just turn up and play. It's so easy. If anybody does want to get into it, an easy ride ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was speaking to someone at the Wen show, and they were like, well, I'm part of this band. I don't want to say the name. There's like 100 members, all in the same band. It's just
Yeah,
rotation
yeah.
the whole time. So
Yeah.
even the band members don't know each other when
Yeah.
they show up. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
That-
happens
that
a
must
lot.
be weird.
Well, yeah, that is strange because I think I know my mate booked a band. I won't say who it is, and he was expecting people that he knew personally.
Yeah.
I think 2 of the members didn't show
Yeah.
up. It was a different. They
And he's
Yeah.
a musician as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and he just outsourced what he didn't get, and we tried to avoid, like, obviously we're gonna have family obligations or something else, or
Yeah.
holidays or something will
Sickness
come up.
is the more
Yes,
tricky
it-
one.
But
Like
it's
if
like
you get unwell and you're in a
98% of the time
three-piece.
it's us.
It's
Even
just
more than
the-
that, I would say.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
most of the time it's.
For-
And to be honest with you, on Saturday when I wasn't there, I was thinking about it all night. I was like, oh, and thinking, oh, I wish I could.
Yeah, it doesn't sit with us.
Yeah.
Right? When we're away with it doesn't sit with us. But we're comfortable with who we bring in and stuff like that, and we always
Yeah.
end up putting on something good. You know what I mean?
It's got to be the best from
You're
Bali.
just thinking, well, yeah.
Exactly.
But
Well,
I
it's
think
the other
like,
two that's got to do more work then, isn't it? You know what I mean? They've got to pick up the slack almost, and
That's true.
but it's good for keeping you on your toes, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it really does keep you
the
on your
nights can
toes.
go by fast when it's
Yeah,
there because
they
you are
do.
on your toes like
Yeah.
that.
And because also I think you kind of you worry a little bit about it if you know you're doing a dep gig,
Yeah.
and then it always works out fine. So you've got that relief as well.
Yeah,
Oh, right, first
for
couple
sure.
of songs out there, yes, it's fine. What are we worried about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you said it's a really easy job to go and be an evening band. Although
So I think it's
essentially
easy
you
if-
are the party. Like you are the
You're a big
like,
part of it.
If I would think that you literally are the party, because we've been at some weddings where the band just haven't thought things through and they're playing a slow song off the get-go and you're like, this is the
To
point
be
where
honest,
you're
it's
supposed
some-
to get people up
That
to dance.
can be a request, though. We've started with slow dances because the bride asks, and you try and talk them out of it, and they're like, "No, I just want that." And people still think they imagine the montage of what the first 6 minutes is going to be of their night. You know, like, oh, Dad, it's going to be so romantic and that, and they don't think of the reality of once the first slow dance is out of the way, everybody then just another slow dance. I'll go to the bar. Should we go to the bar? Okay, cool.
It's
And
always
it
just
doesn't
frustrating
draw
when they
people.
don't trust you. Like they should just let us do our job,
Yeah.
and could we do it all the time? And because some people do like first dance and then get everyone up, then clear everyone again, and we're going to do this now, and it's disjointed because you want
Yeah.
momentum with it.
Absolutely.
But people don't understand that because it's their
Yeah.
effing day.
So what makes a great set list? Because you've obviously mentioned that you change it around sometimes
Yeah.
for creative reasons.
Well, see, like your wedding, how like we knew people and we got to do like more stuff that we like. We're probably similar with our taste in music and stuff like that. So see, when you get people that are like, because we've got the pub gigs, we do like we've got like Weezer and Foo Fighters and Queens of Stone Age and more Arctic. We do Arctic Monkeys, but like maybe a more alternative Arctic Monkeys song and like just more rocking in that.
Yeah.
We prefer that because it's novel, but. Kind of just happy when the dance floor is busy, your night goes by so much quicker. See, when
Yeah.
you know you're doing a good job and people are dancing, the night just kind of
But
flies
so,
by. So it's
like a good set is just one that people respond to when you get the right run of songs in a row.
Yeah.
And then also if you know when to like just let them have a wee break.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, then that's 25 minutes of everybody on the floor. Let's just bring it down for but you don't even need to bring it all the way down. It doesn't need to be a slow dance. See, if you do something like Dignity, like everybody comes up but nobody has to go nuts for that, you know, like it's just everybody, but if you at the right wedding, everybody knows that song and
Yeah.
everybody wants to get up and sing it.
So do you do much on the fly changing to the set list then? Is there a lot of it where it's like,
The past few
all right,
weeks,
we need
really
to step
have.
this up a bit, let's play a banger?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Your Uptown Funk comes in handy. I'll get people up there.
that's when you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like when you're if it goes quiet for a minute, when you think, oh, that's why did it go quiet there? You need that one, or maybe you just pull it like cheesy ones, well, the ones that you don't make videos for. You know, the songs that you don't make videos for are the ones that are usually the most reliable in your set list. People don't like. We make videos of Africa and things like that are maybe like your air quotes wow songs, like I didn't think they would do that, or Pretty Fly for a White Guy, that's novel. But really, if you could have 50 Proud Marys in a night, you'd be loving it, because everybody gets up to Proud Mary.
What is Proud Mary?
Tina Turner, Queen's Clearwater
Oh, right.
Revival.
Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
Everybody dances to that. Everybody at every party.
We tried that. We did 50 renditions of it.
What a night.
I had to give them their money back.
Sounds like a good night to me.
Do you do much before the wedding to educate couples on how to choose their songs or whatever? Or
No,
not choose their songs, but
That's
if you say people are coming to you saying, oh, can you do these 3 to begin with? Do you try and preempt that by saying, we've got this?
well. What we only commit to learning one, and then I always just discourage them from having too much of a say on it. Too much of a say. I don't mind them. Like, they make requests and I'll take a note of them. Sometimes you don't even need to take a note, because they'll maybe give you 15 songs and 10 of them you play every night anyway. So you're like, okay. And I always just say, how do I word it? It's the same every time.
We like to...
it's like we like to have full discretion over the set on the night. But if you've got any requests from our list, just let us know. We'll do our best to get as many in as possible on the night.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way. They can pick a few, but
Some
they know
trade
that
secrets
that
there, edit that out.
But they know that we're gonna. There's not really much of a dialogue with that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you want them to. If they're picking you, they're picking you to, like you say, to be in charge of the party. Like, just
You want them to have trust in you.
It is part of the service.
It would
they
be
pay
weird
for.
if they were asking you like what shots they wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like, how you want to hold the camera.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah,
Bet
and
they
I bet
do.
that's
Bet
like,
they do.
well, we know better. You should have faith in what we do, kind of thing.
Yeah. Unless you've somehow
Keep your
forgotten
kids
to get
off
a
my
shot,
camera.
and then they go, oh, did you get that? And you're like, yeah.
Mm.
No, I didn't. And then you go and do it without them seeing. Like, oh. With Jack was designed from the ground up and is tailored specifically for creatives. Whether you provide a service like design, development, or photography, or offer advice to clients, With Jack is for you. It's focused on creatives. Insurance shouldn't be complicated, so With Jack has made every step easy. You'll deal with one form and talk to one Jack as you sign up, get covered, and move on with your day. With Jack is all about bespoke insurance for creatives. Simple. That doesn't mean more forms or faff, it means less. It's not about endless features and stale service. It's about one solid policy and the personal touch. Bye-bye unnecessary fuss. Hello, creative friendly insurance. Be a confident creative.
Have you guys ever had like things where like your memory cards have died, or like you've got no batteries?
Oh, that happens all the time.
But I mean, like
We've
you've
never-
had no footage.
Oh, no.
No.
Or
There's
well,
been faulty
yeah.
memory
Faulty memory
memory
cards.
cards can get corrupt and stuff, but usually
And you
it's
just having to scrape together what you can.
usually it's like one file. So
Mhm.
if it goes corrupt, it's the one that you are recording. So if you're recording for like half an hour, that's half an hour gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But usually we like if it's the important things, like, so we captured the ceremony in full and the speeches in full from multiple angles. I mean, yeah, from the 3 angles. So if one goes down, you can kind of make things fit with like B-roll and stuff, because obviously the audio is the main thing,
right?
I would say, for the speeches.
Oh yeah.
Like, and reactions. It's more a problem if audio goes missing, because then you have to resort to the backup, and it's never quite as good.
yeah.
You talked about broken dreams.
Was that was our second EP?
No. This is actually your question. When I emailed you saying that we were having another band on, you're like, ask them about where they found their satisfaction. So
I did it.
you did.
Pretentious.
So yeah, as a
Insightful.
band, where do you guys find satisfaction?
Cold hard cash, baby.
That's the guy who's had 2 whiskeys till then. So the honesty's coming out.
I've got a couple of other options just in case. Yeah, so crowd appreciation, or well, it says financial. Yeah, okay. Or diversity style, like song diversity. Like what makes you happy?
A little bit of all of it, but I genuinely feel a little bit of pride telling people what we do for a living, that do it with the same guys that have been pals with since we were kids or family with since he was born. But I get satisfaction from that. I like that we get to do this for a living. So I guess that would be money, but it's not like, if you're asking which category it is. But it's not really, it's not like,
You don't need to pick. You don't need to pick any of the ones that I wrote down. I was just,
yeah.
I was
It's pretty satisfying to do.
It's quite an emotional answer, that.
We didn't do anything else after we left school. We immediately started playing music, and no plan other than just playing
Not
music.
a hire
Just-
amongst us.
There's really not much education here. You'll be surprised to learn.
Well, I still get a kick out of if I've played well and people seem to be digging what I'm doing. I quite get a kick out of like showing off.
We played the other day to
you
people
got
that
to.
people that we know, and that was, I was more nervous than maybe I was letting on. When that went well, I was.
Who was that
chuffed.
again?
Just on Friday when we were playing for.
Oh, yeah.
It was just people from our hometown, and we went to Pitlochry. It was just a big night, and I can't remember a wedding that went better than that recently. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was quite good at that work for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I just it's weird that you do it all the time, but you can still overthink things a little bit.
It's easier to play to strangers than it is
Yeah,
people
yeah,
you know.
for sure, yeah.
Right? Like there's something about
Yeah.
playing to people you know, you feel a little bit on edge, and it goes away once you settle into the set. But just that initial like, oh, I hope this is good. I hope they come away thinking this was good. But whereas when it's strangers, it's like you feel like I will do a good job regardless of what they think.
You also see, like, at the end of a night, people come up and say, "Oh, you guys were great," or whatever. Like, but after a good night, the bride and groom, I'm not. It sounded like I was being derisory about it. If they come up and pay a compliment at the end of the night, we always say, like, to be honest with you, it was as much you guys as it was us, because if they're not going to get up and dance to anything, then there's nothing we can do that'll make
Yeah.
it a good night. And we could play the exact same set 2 nights in a row, have the best night you've ever had, and then have the quietest night you've ever had.
Yeah, it depends on who your friends are. And
Yeah.
if the bride and groomer couple usually their friends are all quiet. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
If they've never danced at any other parties,
Yeah.
we're not going to be the people that are going to make them all of a sudden just lose all their inhibitions and dance. I mean, it would be great if we could actually do that,
Yeah.
but we're more like,
I'd say that we definitely have like more successful nights than the quiet nights. This summer has been good for that. We were like, 'cause when we've spoken to other wedding bands that we know, and you talk about how was it, and then it's like, oh, sometimes you just get those really dull nights where nobody's dancing, and we felt like we were on this really long stride all summer. It's like we've been nailing it, we've been crushing it, but it's just like we've just hit a run of good parties, good amount of drinking, good vibes and stuff like that, and then you hit that. Sometimes you hit that one. It's like you ask the people that are running it, it's like, have they been drinking much? No, the bar's been empty. It's like, here we go.
sometimes you
It's just
forget weddings can be on a Monday now as well as
yeah.
a thingy, and we kind of
People-
forget what day it is, and just you go into it thinking it's the weekend, and then all of a sudden 11 o'clock you look around the table and you think, actually, people are drinking cups of tea and and
Aye.
glass of Coke, and that's why they're not going quite as crazy as they would be. They've got work in the morning.
We decided we like advertise ourselves as like a party band. If you're having a party, we'll enhance that. But if you're subdued,
but
Get
you
a
know
DJ.
when when David and Gail were in and talking about how you narrow your
Yeah.
like
niche.
make get more niche. Like, it'd be amazing. I wish we could do that with the band. I wish you could. It's
You
again,
can. There's nothing stopping
No,
you.
yeah, you can and you can't. It's more of a, I don't want to say gamble. Almost didn't want to say gamble because I didn't want to not be taking a gamble. But if we narrow it down too much, we won't. You wouldn't get enough bookings. I don't think. Like, bands need many more bookings than most other wedding suppliers need throughout a year to fill a diary, because we don't have any aftercare. We don't have editing during the week. There's no follow up. It's one and done.
Yeah.
It's like, So if we got too niche, if we started auditioning clients, basically, if we said, right, show us pictures of your last 4 parties. I mean, ideally, that's what you would do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose the idea would be that you niche down to charge more, so you don't need to fill that many. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. It would be hard to transition.
Yeah.
To doing something.
But also as well,
then you need to figure out
what if you were only going out once a week? You'd be going in cold once a week. You know, you like if we gig on a Monday night and then we gig on a Thursday night, whether it's a wedding or a pub gig, and then Friday, Saturday is always a wedding. Sometimes it's Sunday, it's a wedding. Then Monday it's back to that, and then it's really only Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Yeah.
So you never get cold.
Yeah.
But if you were just doing it once a week, even if the money was fantastic, you would still be like,
do we remember that song? That one in us. Yeah.
What would you niche to? Or what would be the focus that you would?
Yeah. What would
niche?
you do?
Had you had an idea?
I've always wanted to do big band stuff. Like, I mean, string quartet, brass, everything in the thing. But the problem is we're so used to working with 3 of us.
Yeah, that's like the opposite.
Yeah, it's exact opposite. You're trusting 10 folk, 15 folk rather than just like 2 brothers that I know.
We did the Make Sparks gig and we added 2 extra people, and they
yeah,
had to fit into.
And it was 2 of our friends. It was
It
hard.
was, yeah, and we had to fit in. They had to fit into the people that have been working together for ages. I bet we're dead difficult now, not because we try to be, but trying to fit into something that's 13, 14, 15 years established.
Actually, we also hear that every now and again about just hanging out with us and stuff, because
people don't like us.
It's difficult to get into all the. We've got
so cliquey.
20 years of in-jokes.
Yeah, cliquey on our own terms. That's horrible. God, we were hipster before hipster, cliquing away. That makes no sense. Edit that out.
No, that's gonna be the intro to the whole thing. We were hipster before we were hipster.
You talk about bands having to do a lot of gigs. How do you make that balance work-life? Like, you've now got a kid. I don't know about you guys. Don't have kids, do you?
Adam just got a dog, and Bob's
you've
getting
got a
married
dog.
soon.
What you could do at the weekends when you're out?
We're all in relationships.
You're getting married soon?
So
I get married in August, yeah.
Oh shit, I did not know this. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You do other things as well.
I've been joking about it recently, but this year's been the first time I've ever noticed it, where I've been like, actually a bit fried and ready for a holiday, looking for where are the gaps in the diary that I can get something, because we did get into it so that it would be Friday, Saturday. That was the idea. Friday, Saturday work, the Sunday to Thursday we'll do Make Sparks. That was our initial plan. That was our business plan in 2009. And now it's like, so it's like squeeze stuff in on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and then but not complaining, just it's definitely been more of a juggling act this year than it's ever been for me. And Adam's just got a puppy, so he's the most sleep deprived he's ever been. I don't know if you can hear it in his voice.
I've been taking up golf pretty seriously, so it's been hella stressful on that course.
changing competitions and everything.
Yeah.
Bobby changed his swing this year.
Thank you very much, yeah. From shite to not so shite.
Tonally, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this question.
Oh, here we go.
It's kind of like, well, do you feel about it?
Tonally, I wasn't into it.
Do you have any regrets regarding any of the bands that you've been in? For example, like, do you feel that being in a wedding band held you back enough that you couldn't progress in Make Sparks? Or are you like thankful for being in weddings because, you know, it allows you to do something that you love and support your families? And
I think for me anyway, there was maybe like 1 year that when we got loads of wedding, when they all came flooding in, but Make Spark was quite hot at that time. I think if we'd maybe given that summer to another group of festivals, like, because we were getting offered them, that would have been fun, just because that was the most fun bit about being Make Sparks for me. It was just going to the festival. So, but at the same time, I definitely don't miss going down to England for hours and hours, you know, like, and sitting in. So
M25.
I think it's
play
an
to a
age
few
thing.
people.
If you're young doing it, it's good. But if you're when you get older,
Also, when we were doing that, we were doing it like fairly level-headed. There was not a whole lot of shenanigans. It wasn't like we were going down and going nuts and having big parties. We imagined that stuff was in the future. Like, we were kind of grafting, you know, and it was it's not like it was good. I remember it fondly, but I still remember the drives as well. It's not like we've had a lot more fun probably at weddings than we did at that stuff.
Yeah.
We never really, when we used to go touring down south, we never really stayed over too much. We tend to stay over closer to the next venue, so we drive overnight. So we never party where we were.
Yeah.
But we just always wanted to be sort of. We were oddly professional about it for our age, which I guess was a good work ethic. But
We were
it,
so
definitely.
dedicated as youngsters. Like
But it just-
that was. That's something that I wonder that as well now. Like I haven't improved much as a guitarist for a long time. I got to a level, and then you just get slight gradual improvements. But like, because when you're a kid and you're so dedicated, like, and we had an extended childhood up till mid-20s, it was like we just played and we were so focused. We would rehearse all the time. It was a really good grounding. But yeah, like you're saying, oddly professional for or heads screwed on for guys that age. But
sometimes I feel like it's a little bit unfinished business in that. But I've over the last couple of years, I've played with other bands, and I've got to tick off a few boxes that I always wanted to do for myself personally, like play certain venues and certain size of crowds and stuff like that, and tour around Europe and stuff. I got to do some of that, and I feel like that kind of ticked off the things that I wanted to do with Make Sparks, which we got to do some of, but not quite the way that I got to experience it the last couple of years. And so I kind of feel quite satisfied with that side of things now. Like, tick those off. Got
He's
to
fine.
see it.
Fuck everyone else.
But let's say, like, I
You
will,
see who the selfish one is.
definitely. But I definitely got a kick out of the gigging and performing, whereas I know you got the kick out of recording and creating, whereas I definitely liked showing off, I guess. That was the bit that I enjoyed, so I feel like I got to do quite enough of that, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
it's funny that we never actually completed and released an album. It's ridiculous, in fact. Like we have like so
Tons
many
of EPs.
so many EPs
Yeah.
and all this unreleased material, and it's like most of everything we did as Make Sparks was like was really just for us almost. It's like it's not been released. It's not anywhere. It's not. It's
You should just
funny
do
to
an
talk about it.
amnesty
It has
one day
just
and
been
put
hobby.
a Google Drive link up with all the songs.
Yeah,
I
probably
think
should.
I'll be the first one on it.
We'll definitely put something up and eventually. And
How do you end your podcast?
How do we end it?
Like, do you?
You've listened to our podcast.
But what's the
It's never
audio
been
at the
that
end?
good.
What's the audio at the end of it?
It's just
Like, do you do the? I like the guy's voice. It's not going to last forever. I can't remember what he says.
Oh, right. No, that's how we start it.
Yeah.
I think Simon's got an outro recorded that's like,
there is
By
an
the
outro
start, we've
that's
got-
like and subscribe, blah blah blah, and then we do the bit on the show where it's like blah 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 blah, enjoy your life, and then the music comes
oh,
out.
yeah,
Right,
that's
yeah,
how we
yeah.
end it, yeah.
I was
But at
gonna
the
offer
start,
you-
that's where it's
you
the.
can have- you can have some new Make Sparks for your outro if you like. I'll send you something, but you'd have to do then. You'd have to speak over it. It sounds like a pussy.
We don't want you Make Sparks.
I know.
After
Edit that,
45
you-
minutes,
you-
this was us just trying to sell it.
You can give me a new Make Sparks song, and I will put it on the end of this podcast.
that's what you just offered.
And I will.
I think he wanted us to use it in every episode.
I mean like the whole song for people to listen to.
Oh,
How do you think other suppliers can help you do your job?
Stay the hell out of our way.
I could have told you he was going to say that. I'm thinking, like, what could they do? Like, they could improve the vibe throughout the day. So who would do that? Like, who would keep things up? Who would who would?
Yeah, that's
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it would all be about atmosphere and the state they hand the guests over in.
Right.
You know, like, so whoever that would
Okay.
be, I don't know.
Oh, so you
Oh,
feel
you know
that you're
what?
taking over the day?
Well,
We're here. We're in charge
like
now.
no, I'm more
But you
like
are really,
that's what
though.
I feel like. It's a change. It's a handover, isn't it? Like if during the day maybe the venue are the people that are looking after them, whereas in the evening everybody's sort of looking at us to, like you said earlier, make a party happen now, whereas we're just looking back at the guests like, you have to make the party happen. We'll
Yeah.
just play the music. Like it really is 50-50. So I don't know.
I suppose if you had like a crap photographer or crap and then they were stressing the bride and groom out all day, then they might take it out on
Yeah.
us, or they might be in
All right.
a worse mood before we come in. Or the sometimes I find the venues a lot of time, like the bar staff, they have like no bar staff at loads of venues. I'm like, why are you doing this? It's where you make the most money. I don't understand that. Or it's just kids behind the bar that don't like, with no one really managing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or too many actual children at a wedding.
Yeah.
Who's in charge? I know who could help us. The event nanny. You know them, like they would be a good help for us.
If they're on the dance
kids
floor,
in it.
people don't want to go on the dance floor because
To be honest with you, even like I don't.
if kids are on, adults don't come on so much because
Really?
Yeah, and even when they do, I get anxious, man. I like sometimes it's small kids crawling about floors, and you're like, anyone could slip and just you could trip and actually fall your whole weight. You're steaming. And when we go back to insurance, like jokingly, we're actually not insured for kids to be there past 10 o'clock.
Oh, we're not.
No public liability. Stuff
Sure,
that you can
if somebody
get for
tripped
bands.
on the dance floor and fell on a kid, that surely doesn't come back in you.
No, but
if they
just
trip
for
into our
example,
poles,
if someone, but there's a reason that people don't get insured for kids being around after 10 o'clock because there isn't much place for them. Some people have different kids that can totally handle it, and that's fair enough. But if they were going to make a rule, that would be a good one. Like, they just shouldn't be there after even 9
Says the
o'clock.
parent.
Probably. Yeah. No. Did they let you in after 9? But
If there's music during the day and that's different from the music you're playing at night, I mean, like song choices and stuff, that would be helpful. You don't want to hear it.
I mean,
want to repeat.
every wedding supplier could just share our video. That would really help us.
Do you guys get asked a lot, like, to refer them? If you're getting booked, do they ever say, do you recommend any bands? Does that ever come your way?
We are usually
No.
we are usually the last to
As
get booked.
Yeah.
Well,
As the videographer,
okay,
And
right.
a lot of
the
yeah.
bands are usually the first, like
Oh, yeah,
venue
yeah.
band.
I know we don't. Well,
Photographer.
do we get asked?
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
A lot of
emails?
the time when
Yeah.
we're speaking to
No one ever
couples
asked us anything.
Mm.
and we say, oh, like, how's the planning going? They're like, we've got the big things. And then they list venue, band, photographer sometimes.
yeah. I'm a
It's
big
like-
thing too.
Oh,
Well, I get you've been married.
Because-
how far was your videographer down the list?
We didn't have one,
Well, there we
Yeah.
go.
so
It's a new thing.
so far
It's quite a
down.
new thing, isn't it?
but only because there was no one. And I every time I say this, I feel like I'm sounding very wanky. But there's no one that met my standards. Like no one good enough at
You're
the
right,
time.
it did sound wanky.
like
9 years ago, wedding
Yeah.
films were a total different style.
different.
Yeah.
There's
It's-
nothing.
Like
Like
the way
it's-
bands
Some
have
are
got
bands, yeah,
more.
like it was-
it's
yeah.
trendier to be in a band.
But they're also
It's now
the
cool to
standards
be-
are so much higher.
Well,
now
see,
as
even
well,
the
so
stuff
it's
that
like-
we're looking at now,
that's
it
crazy.
looks like when I first saw something like that was not like that years ago, but on a scale of that. So you're clearly that's a bit of drone footage. The first time I saw that flying over a loch to the bride and groom being on the bay, you're just like,
yeah, that was mind blowing.
this is Lord of the Rings that they're getting married. It was.
That is
Such a-
actually not
such a
Scotland.
shift.
That is Middle Earth. Right?
That is. I mean that
That's
is
so
a
good.
huge shift, isn't it?
We did
Yeah.
we did a wedding. They're probably direct competition for you guys, but the videographers set up a projection screen and they'd been editing frantically the day
They do like the day
to
edit,
show the
to show
day
on the night.
as like a package, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Fucking hell!"
Like-
I mean, that's crazy. Like
So,
that's what they're offering now.
We do sometimes if it's a wedding that we're staying over the night, like that time we were working with Chris and Jill and Rachel.
Oh yeah, no.
We had made the decision to edit a same day.
It was that
teaser.
way. No, it wasn't that wedding. But we did one of that wedding. That one.
It was that one.
It was that one.
It was that one. It was literally this one behind me.
At the screen
There's a
right now.
video playing
In
right
fact,
behind
this
us.
is the teaser that I made that same night.
They
And
look like they
it-
must have had a fantastic photo booth.
It
They did. It
They
was
did, it was great.
Franco photo booth.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
really,
Yeah.
really cool. But I wanted to speak to Rachel way more than I got a chance to because I was just editing the whole time.
We don't use a projector. We just do it and then show them it on an iPad.
Mm.
And sometimes we'll leave the iPad out so they can be like, oh, mum and dad, come and see this.
Yeah, yeah.
And other people can come and see it. But
Mhm.
yeah, we don't do the whole,
It's changed.
this is a spectacle, look at the projector sort of
Changed so
thing.
much,
Well, you
hasn't
should
it?
because it really elongated our break.
Cool. Well,
So
yeah,
that's
well,
how we can help you.
that's how we can help. Yeah.
Do you find it hard, like keeping up with what you guys have got to keep up with in your industry, like with everything that's like?
Well, we're the best. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. You've nailed it. Trend setting.
But then I've just thought of it now.
I'm kidding.
Even that other thing that we saw, I can't remember the name of them at all. But they look
Strawberry
better.
Green Films.
Well,
I think
that's
it
okay, that's what it was.
that guy
and it was good.
met recently.
I suppose the more people that have that, the better for you guys. Like that people know that they've got there is that out there to get, and they
Yeah.
can have something like this at a wedding.
Yeah.
Same with us with band. Like now, they used to go through phases of having DJs and bands, and you don't hear about DJs so much anymore at weddings. It's just like it's just
Really
all
don't hear
bands,
it very often.
and it's because
Because
there's so
there are
many,
so many
yeah, there's so
bands.
many
Yeah.
of them promoting it that people feel like
That's
they
the
need
thing
one
as well.
again.
You think at first when loads of bands came out, like we were talking about earlier, how many there are doing, and we all do almost the same thing. Everybody's just a version of the same thing, really.
That's doing Gold Digger Craig.
But I mean, so now if people pick us, they just maybe it's because they like the way we sound together. Everybody can do the same material, but everybody doesn't sound the same playing it together. Like, so it's just a taste thing. But I forget what I was going to say there.
Film stuff.
Yeah, film stuff with everybody being.
You can move them closer if you want. Just,
Oh,
so you don't have to reach as much.
I don't know. It was a great point to be brought back later. But I guess longevity for you guys helps as well. Like you guys have been at it for ages, and you just don't stop, and then you evolve as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a period of time where we were like you, that our success had just come so easily because of the time we had come about.
Nobody else was doing what you were doing.
And we were going to Italy
Essentially.
and doing some great weddings, and suddenly the bookings slowly kind of dried up. We
It's
had
a funny
we
feeling,
had
isn't
taken
it?
our
Yeah.
foot
Quite
off
panicky.
the gas a wee bit,
Yeah.
and now we're like, whoa, just surviving. So
Mm.
we decided to do a rebrand and really focus our efforts on Instagram, the website. Yeah.
It's weird as well when you're not. I don't know about you guys, but we were never social media people, even in our personal lives. So see, then to have to become social media people, I think that's weird. That's a weird
Yeah.
transition.
I'm the same as
That might be.
you
that
were
might
saying you
be-
took a month off recently.
Mm.
I would normally have scheduled things to post every day.
Yeah.
Like, I schedule them and then I still have to actively post them. I don't do it automatic.
Right, yeah,
but
got you.
when I was away on holiday, before I went, I was too busy getting everything organised, so I didn't have anything scheduled. And it's just like, oh well, 3 weeks off from
Yeah.
posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, because you get, I'm like, I don't know what to post.
No.
I don't
And-
post on Facebook at all on my personal one.
Like, we've got friends that are in great bands that their social media is just relentless, and it's like it's hilarious, really. Like the rubbish that they sometimes post up, and you're like, you don't know. Then it makes you second guess. Like, should we just be posting up any old rubbish? Just and my thought over these few weeks has just been definitely no. Like we've put nothing up for a few weeks, and bookings haven't slowed down.
I
It's
feel
not.
good though,
It's
like-
us posting nonsense on Facebook isn't what gets us bookings. It's us posting decent content.
But see the
Yeah.
fact
But then
that
you
we've
have-
got videos coming out regularly. Like, that's been quite
Yeah.
consistent with videos. That makes you feel like, oh, you don't have to consistently put
Yeah.
out.
The only thing I
Here's
feel
us traveling to another wedding. It's
genuinely
like,
feel a little bad about is when like you get to a wedding and they say, "Oh, I see you've been all over the place." Like the bride and groom will have, because they follow you on Facebook, and then if you don't post something at their wedding, you don't want them to think. Like there was a really nice guy recently at Sherbrooke House. Him and his wife were really entertaining, lovely. Spoke to them afterwards for quite a while. Had a wee sing along just before we left, and he even left us a really nice testimonial. But I didn't take a picture at his wedding. That was during this time I didn't do it, and I actually felt guilty afterwards because I know he checks it all the time. Like, damn, that's
Yeah.
so for them we probably just should, but more for my own sanity, I just hate being, like I said before, I'm just looking at other wedding bands' feeds. I think I see too much of that, so I already kind of hate it, and I always feel like it's just we just need to
best
boast.
stuff we ever did was like, remember the Van Dross, we did the Beach Boy stuff. It was 10
That's what
second,
I'm
a
saying,
10
yeah.
second
Yeah.
clip.
seen that earlier. Yeah.
I did, yeah. So
Yeah.
it must have been away. And
No, but
then
yeah,
we
we're-
got like thousands of views
Yeah.
on it and stuff, and loads of
Yeah.
work it generated.
I think
That was
people
10
do like
seconds.
the behind the scenes and
Right. Yeah.
seeing like, oh, like, so they're cool guys. Like, they're, sounds so old saying that, but it's like, oh,
Dudes, you know.
because then they're like, I can relate to them. I would like to have them at my wedding. Whereas if they just see as a name of a band, it's like, well, I don't know what they're
But I
like.
guess reputation
Yeah.
must help a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Like they're saying the name of the band, but yeah, I don't know what people want to see. Would they rather see a bit of personality, or would they just rather know that you've done 100 good weddings in the past 18 months? I don't know. Is that what they care about?
Where can folk find you online?
Definitely should have checked that.
What?
Glasgow Wedding Band.
Wait, we've got cards. We have everything.
Got
Got backing music.
There's a card.
what's the Facebook?
Secrets we told.co.uk.
MySpace / Secrets We've Told. That's there. That's genuinely there. Get that.
You got
up.
MySpace
There
and
we go.
Bebo.
Get the
We've got
Bebo.
Instagram, Franco_band. We've got Craig's phone number. Can we put that out on here? Franco Wedding Band is a Facebook, and GlasgowWeddingBand.co.uk
So that's where we can
the
find you.
website.
And
Yeah, so
Bobby's
you can
back
find
on
us on
Tinder, so
All different
Find him
addresses.
there.
Just put in Franco wedding
Just in
band
time
into
for the
any
wedding.
search bar.
Yeah. Also, go onto Google and type in Toto
Africa.
Franco Africa.
Yeah, then you might get
because
the
you're-
Weezer version. You heard the Weezer version?
I've heard the
I
Weezer
think it
version,
is.
and that was quite similar timing,
I'll
wasn't
put
it?
it up.
It was. Have you heard that Toto
I'll-
has now done a cover of Hashpipe?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, it's like
I
it
heard
good?
it. I only heard it live though. Was it good?
It's fine. They don't do their version of it. They do Weezer's version. They do a cover,
Oh,
essentially.
right, yeah.
See, we could have got him to put a wind or something. That would
Yeah, here you go, Toto. Have this.
That's it. Missed out on a marketing opportunity right there.
I'll put the link to the Africa video in the show notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. And
And you'll see the view count just go skyrocketing.
It's about to. Thanks for having us. That was fun. That was good.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for coming on
First
the
time we've done
podcast.
one of this.
Mm-hmm. And
Cool.
for all you hardcore Mink Sparks listeners, stay tuned for a special track. And now I've said it's gonna be real.
She wakes up early when it's cold outside, while the moon still shines. She makes a start while the city sleeps. She makes up time. Through the window she sees where she'll be in a year or two. A proud mother with a family, gotta keep on pushing through. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. Those lights could draw her in if she didn't know why. She was doing everything she does every single night. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She would never get the current one when it stares her down. But she never will forgive herself. She can't leave this town. Holy roller and she's picking up steam, but she never looks back. All she knows is what she tells herself. Says she's on the right track. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She said she can't stand the 1 second more, no. She said don't give up, don't ever give up, no. She said she can't stand the 1 second more, no. She said don't give up, don't ever give up, no. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give it up this time. She won't ever give up. Keep on pushing through the darkest night. She can't ever give up. She won't ever give up this time. She won't ever give up.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit that subscribe button so that you know the next time an episode goes online. Leave a review. That's a massive help. And spread the word by telling a friend. But until next time, enjoy your life.